Every single breakthrough in life starts with a question. Think about that for a second. The quality of your life, your success, your happiness. It all comes down to the quality of the questions you ask yourself every single day, because questions direct your focus, and whatever you focus on, you feel. Whatever you focus on, you act upon. Most people don't even realize it, but they're constantly asking themselves questions, just the wrong ones. Why is this happening to me? Why do I always struggle? What if I fail? These questions don't lead to solutions. They lead to excuses, to doubt, to fear. The brain is like a supercomputer, and when you give it a question, it will find an answer, whether that answer serves you or not. Ask, why am I always behind? And your brain will search for reasons. Because I'm not good enough. Because I'm unlucky. Because I don't have the resources. And just like that, you've locked yourself into a story that keeps you stuck. But what happens when you flip the script? What happens when you start asking, what's one thing I can do today to move forward? Now your brain is scanning for solutions. Who can I learn from? What's the opportunity in this challenge? These kinds of questions shift your focus from problems to possibilities, from fear to empowerment. The most successful people in the world, the ones who seem to break through any obstacle, have trained themselves to ask the right questions. They don't ask, what if I fail? They ask, what can I learn? They don't say, why is this happening to me? They ask, how is this happening for me? They don't get stuck in, can I do this? They ask, how can I do this? That one shift from doubt to possibility, from fear to action, is the difference between those who stay stuck and those who rise. Now you might be thinking, this sounds great in theory, but what about real life? What about when you're in the middle of a crisis, when everything feels like it's falling apart? That's exactly when this matters most, because in those moments, you can either default to old limiting questions that keep you trapped, or you can take control. Let me give you an example. Two people lose their job on the same day. One asks, why does this always happen to me? And sinks into frustration, doubt, and fear. The other asks, what's the best next move I can make right now? And immediately starts taking action, updating their resume, reaching out to their network, even considering starting their own business. Same situation, completely different outcomes. Why? Because their questions determine their focus, and their focus determine their actions. So here's the challenge for you. Pay attention to the questions you're asking yourself every day. Are they keeping you stuck? Are they focused on fear, doubt, and excuses, or are they driving you forward? Because the right questions will open doors you never even knew existed. They will shift your entire reality. Your mind is powerful beyond measure, but it will follow the direction you give it. So ask yourself, are you asking the questions that will create the life you truly want? Because the moment you do, everything changes. If you want to change your life, you have to change what you focus on. It's that simple. Because what you focus on, you feel. And what you feel, you act on. And those actions, they shape your entire reality. And most people go through life focusing on what they fear, what they lack, and what might go wrong. They wake up thinking about their problems. They go to bed stressed about what they didn't accomplish. And they wonder why they feel stuck. But here's the truth. Whatever you consistently focus on, you attract more of into your life. If you focus on limitations, all you'll see are roadblocks. If you focus on opportunities, you'll start seeing pathways forward that weren't visible before. Think about it like this. Your mind is like a camera lens. Wherever you aim it, that's what becomes clear, while everything else fades into the background. If you focus on failure, your brain will highlight every reason why you won't succeed. If you focus on growth, your mind will start showing you solutions, connections, and ideas that were there all along, but you just weren't looking for them. Successful people, those who break through, who overcome, who thrive, they have mastered the art of controlling their focus. They don't ignore problems, but they refuse to dwell on them. Instead of obsessing over what's wrong, they ask, what can I do about it? Instead of fixating on limitations, they focus on the possibilities. That shift, where you place your attention, is what separates those who lead from those who follow, those who thrive from those who merely survive. But let's make this practical. How do you shift your focus when life hits hard? When stress is overwhelming, when fear is creeping in, when doubt is whispering in your ear? You do it deliberately. You take control of your mental state before it takes control of you. One of the most powerful ways to do this is to train yourself to ask better questions. If you wake up and say, why am I so tired? Your brain will give you reasons because you didn't sleep enough, because your life is exhausted. But if you wake up and ask, what can I be grateful for right now? Suddenly your focus shifts. Your brain searches for answers. I have another day to live. I have people who love me. I have opportunities in front of me. Same morning, different focus, completely different experience. Another way to take control of your focus is through movement. Physiology drives psychology. You cannot sit slumped over, breathing shallow, and feel powerful at the same time. It's impossible. If you want to feel different, move differently, stand tall, breathe deeply, speak with confidence, engage your body with energy, because when you change your body, you change your focus. So ask yourself, where is my focus right now? Is it moving me forward or holding me back? Because whatever you focus on, you feel, and whatever you feel, you create. Shift your focus and you shift your destiny. The quality of your life is directly tied to the standards you set for yourself. Not the goals you hope for, not the dreams you fantasize about, but the standards you commit to living by day in and day out, no matter what. Because here's the truth. We don't get what we wish for, we get what we tolerate. Think about that for a moment. If you tolerate mediocrity in your relationships, if you tolerate excuses in your career, you'll get a career filled with missed opportunities. If you tolerate a lack of discipline in your health, your body will reflect that. But when you raise your standards, when you draw a line in the sand and say, this is who I am, this is what I expect for myself, and I will accept nothing less, everything in your life begins to shift. The people who transform their lives don't do it by setting small goals and hoping for the best. They make a decision, a real decision. The word decision comes from the Latin root decidere, which means to cut off. It means you cut off any other possibility except the one that aligns with your new standard. It's not, I'll try to be more disciplined. It's, I am a disciplined person. It's not, I want to be more confident. It's, I demand confidence from myself. That shift from a desire to a standard changes everything. Look at anyone who has achieved greatness in any field, and you will see someone who holds themselves to an unshakable standard. Michael Jordan didn't just want to be good at basketball. He demanded excellence from himself in every practice, every game, every moment. Elon Musk didn't just wish for innovation. He set the standard that his companies would redefine industries. Oprah Winfrey didn't just dream of success. She set a standard that she would impact lives on a massive scale. But let's bring this back to you. Right now in your life, where have you been settling? What have you been tolerating that you know is beneath you? Is it your health, your finances, your relationships, your mindset? Because the moment you raise your standards, your life starts to rise to meet them. Now, this doesn't mean it's easy. Raising your standards means pushing through resistance. It means holding yourself accountable even when no one is watching. It means saying no to distractions, cutting off excuses, and doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. But here's what happens when you do that. You develop an identity that cannot be shaken. When you truly decide to raise your standards, you become the kind of person who follows through no matter what. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop allowing circumstances to dictate your life. You take control. And when you do, you become unstoppable. So ask yourself, what is the standard I am committed to? Not just for today, but for the rest of my life. Because in the end, your standards shape your destiny. Raise them and watch everything else rise with you. Most people live their lives reacting. They wake up, check their phone, respond to emails, deal with whatever problems come their way, and repeat the cycle day after day. They're constantly reacting to circumstances instead of creating their future. And here's the truth. If you don't take control of your focus will be controlled for you by distractions, by other people's demands, by the never-ending noise of the world. What separates those who achieve greatness from those who stay stuck is their ability to control and direct their focus. Because whatever you focus on consistently, you move toward. Your mind is like a powerful camera lens. It will zoom in on whatever you direct it to. Focus on problems, and you'll find more problems. Focus on opportunities, and you'll start to see solutions everywhere. But here's where it gets deeper. It's not just about focusing on the positive. It's about training your mind to focus on what matters. It's easy to get caught up in things that don't actually move your life forward. Social media, gossip, news cycles that thrive on fear. Your energy is your most valuable resource, and every time you give it to something that doesn't serve your growth, you are robbing yourself of progress. This is why the most successful people in the world obsess over where their focus goes. They know that what you focus on determines how you feel, how you act, and ultimately what you achieve. If you focus on gratitude, you feel empowered. If you focus on problems, you feel overwhelmed. If you focus on growth, you take action. Think about it. Two people can go through the exact same situation, yet one sees it as an obstacle while the other sees it as an opportunity. The difference isn't the situation itself, it's what they choose to focus on. The first person gets stuck, consumed by frustration. The second person finds a way forward because their mind is trained to see possibilities. So, how do you take control of your focus? It starts with a decision to be intentional about what you allow into your mind. It means setting boundaries, deciding which conversations you engage in, which media you consume, which thoughts you allow to dominate your mental space. It means practicing the habit of shifting your focus from what you can't control to what you can control. And the most powerful shift you can make, stop focusing on what you don't want and start focusing on what you do want. Too many people spend their lives saying, I don't want to be broke. I don't want to be unhealthy. I don't want to be unhappy. But your mind doesn't process negatives the way you think it does. If you keep saying, I don't want to fail, what's the dominant thought in your mind? Failure. Instead, train yourself to focus on success, on solutions, on the vision of who you are becoming. Because at the end of the day, your focus is your power. Guard it, direct it, master it. And when you do, you'll stop living in reaction and start creating the life you were meant for. Most people wait. They wait for the right time, the right opportunity, the perfect conditions before they take action. They tell themselves, I'll start when I have more experience. I'll go after my dream when I feel more confident. I'll make a change when things calm down. But here's what they don't realize. Waiting is the silent killer of potential. Because there is never going to be a perfect time. There is never going to be a moment where everything aligns exactly the way you want it to. Look at anyone who has achieved something great. They didn't wait until they were ready. They didn't wait until they had all the answers. They started where they were with what they had and figured it out along the way. They took imperfect action, and that's what made the difference. Because momentum is built through action, not through waiting. See, most people think they need confidence before they take action. They believe that once they feel ready, then they'll move. But the truth is, confidence doesn't come first, action comes first. Confidence is the result of action, not the cause of it. The more you take action, the more capable you become. The more capable you become, the more confident you feel. It's a cycle, and it all starts with that first step. But here's where it gets real. It's not just about taking any action, it's about taking massive action. Small, hesitant moves won't create breakthroughs. You have to be willing to go all in, to commit fully, to act with certainty, even when you don't have all the answers. Because the only way to create a life that excites you is to move boldly in the direction of what you want. And yes, there will be fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. But fear is not a stop sign, it's a signal. It means you're stretching, growing, stepping into something bigger. The goal isn't to eliminate fear. The goal is to move forward in spite of it. Think about it. How many times in your life have you avoided something because you were afraid, only to look back later and realize the fear was exaggerated? How many times have you let doubt keep you from something that could have changed your life? Every time you let fear win, you reinforce the habit of hesitation. But every time you push through, you reinforce the habit of courage. So ask yourself, what is one thing I've been putting off because I'm waiting to feel ready? What is one step, just one, that I can take today? Because once you take that step, everything shifts. You start to see yourself differently. You start to believe in your ability to figure things out. You build momentum, and suddenly the thing that once seemed impossible becomes your new normal. Your life is happening right now, not someday, not when things are easier, right now. And every moment you wait is a moment you don't get back. So stop waiting. Stop hesitating. take action. Because the only thing standing between you and the life you want is the decision to go for it. Most people underestimate just how much control they have over their own lives. They go through their days reacting to circumstances, reacting to other people, reacting to whatever life throws at them. But the truth is, if you're always reacting, you're not in control. You're not leading your life. You're being led by it. And that's a dangerous place to be, because it means your results, your happiness, your success, your fulfillment are left up to chance. What if you flipped the script? What if instead of reacting, you decided to take ownership? What if you made the choice right now that you are fully responsible for your life? Not just for the things that happen to you, but for how you respond, how you grow, and ultimately what you create. That's the real power move. That's when life starts to shift. Not when external circumstances change, but when you do. And here's the kicker. The most successful people in the world, the ones who create extraordinary lives, don't wait for permission. They don't wait for someone to tell them it's their time. They decide that it's their time. They make the move. They take the leap. And when they hit obstacles, they don't see them as stop signs. They see them as tests, challenges designed to make them stronger. You've got to adopt that same mentality. The moment you take full responsibility for your life, everything changes. No more excuses. No more blaming circumstances, people, or the past. Because as long as you're blaming something outside of you, you're giving away your power. And power is exactly what you need if you're going to build a life you're proud of. Now, I get it. Taking responsibility can feel heavy. It's easier to say, I'm stuck because of my past, or I can't move forward because of this situation. But listen to me. That story is keeping you small. That story is keeping you trapped. And the moment you change the story, you change your future. So what does this look like in real life? It looks like committing to growth no matter what. It looks like waking up every day and asking, what can I do today to move closer to my vision? It looks like pushing forward when things get tough, because tough times aren't a signal to stop, they're a signal to step up. And here's what I want you to understand. Your potential is limitless, but it only gets unlocked when you stop playing the victim and start playing the creator, the person who owns their choices, the person who refuses to settle, the person who decides that this is my life and I will shape it into something extraordinary. So right now in this moment, make a decision. Decide that you will no longer let life happen to you. From this point forward, you will happen to life, because when you take full responsibility, when you step into your power, that's when you stop hoping for a better future and start creating one.